In 2012, Paper Mario Sticker Star was released on the 3DS, and it was known as the worst Paper Mario game ever. In 2016, Paper Mario Color Splash was released on the Wii U. While some people liked it, it was still not good compared to the original trilogy. I, however, consider this worse than Sticker Star. Then 2020 happened, and it became the year of a virus and violence. But we're going to be talking about what released on the Switch, Paper Mario the Origami King. This game is... well, how do I put this? When I first saw the trailer that launched, I was very excited. It had partners walking with Mario, a battle system with no consumable attacks. It seemed like this was the return to form of TTYD. However, when launch day was right around the corner, I found this label on the eShop. That wall of text shot all of my hopes down. Did Nintendo and Intelligent Systems not learn anything after Color Splash? Why do they refuse to go back to their roots? Eventually, I got this game on my birthday and gave it a shot. And, well, I'll just describe my reaction in a nutshell. Let's get this stupid game over with. This one's gonna suck. Wait a minute. Am I enjoying this game? Yeah, even when I knew this game wasn't a return to form, I still somehow enjoyed it. Does this mean this game is good? Well, that's really tough to answer. When I first played this back in 2020, I thought it was one of the best Paper Mario games we've gotten since Super Paper Mario. But during this playthrough, I formed a lot of mixed opinions that kinda went all over the place. There's a lot of good things and a lot of bad things in this game that gave me a hard time labeling it as good or bad, so I'm hoping by the end of this review, I can give this game a thorough rating. So until then, let's review this game and ask ourselves, does Paper Mario the Origami King hold up? Or should I say, fold up? Get it? Let's just start the review. Rather than talking about the goods first and the bads later, let's tackle a bunch of minor stuff and then move on to the selling points. First and foremost, this game looks spectacular! In my Color Splash review, I praised the game's graphics for perfecting the paper aesthetics and making the world out of handcrafted materials. Being the first Paper Mario game in HD, it's no shocker that this looks incredible. Origami King expands the graphics since it has a lot more hardware to work with. Once again, the world is made out of paper, and this has got to be the best looking Paper Mario game since Color Splash. Seriously, try going back to Color Splash after this, and it feels like there's not enough sunlight shining down on Mario, and it looks very awkward seeing him in a dim appearance. The papers have a bit of a texture that makes them look like construction paper. The holes in the environment reveal silver wires, which shows how the geometry is being held. There's even a desert made out of sandpaper. And holy moly, check out the water in this Autumn Mountain cutscene. It's so crystal clear and shiny. Until it reverts back to being paper water. Once again, I don't know how that works. My only complaint is that this game looks a bit pixelated and scaled down, especially with its characters. I'm not sure if it's because of the hardware limitations, or maybe they went a little overboard with the visuals, but it would have been nice if they cleaned that up. Next, I want to talk about the game's writing. My god, it gets me laughing every time! Color Splash also had hilarious writing, but every joke they said would only make me sniffle at best, probably because they don't make any sense. Most of the jokes they say felt forced, and having to hear each character joke about being made of paper can get old very quickly. Origami King took every joke, ironed it out, and wrapped it up in a nice little bow to appreciate. And by golly, I appreciate every joke in this game. That's a good one. Alright, you got me there. How on earth do they make each joke slap? I should also mention that this game has some dark scenes to break up the lighthearted tone. While not on the same level as TTYD or Super Paper Mario, it's still enough to make you feel scared or sad. One of those scenes made me cry, and if you played this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now let's talk about the one category that always gets the praise: the music. My god, it slaps! My god, it slaps! If there's one thing Nintendo knows what to get right, it's the music. A lot of songs in this game are very pleasing to the ear. From the welcoming, peaceful atmosphere of Picnic Road, to the majestic beauty of Autumn Mountain, to the upbeat radical surfing tone of Snif City Hotel Pool, to the 60s car ride feel of Toad's Barbecue and Food Eatery, and the lighthearted, yet tear-dropping, innocence of Olivia having fun. Even the battle theme rocks its socks out! And there's different variations in each chapter? Wow, what a welcoming surprise. Another welcoming surprise is something we haven't gotten since the 1,000-Year Door: interconnected worlds. It feels good to have big immersive levels back in this franchise. Sticker Star and Color Splash's levels were linear and boring, with a bigger focus on getting to the goal, and replaying them to get to another goal, which became tedious. Origami King brings the interconnected worlds back, but each section is much wider with a focus on exploration. It still points you in the right direction where you're supposed to go, but you have the option to take in the scenery and travel at your own pace. There's even secret goodies that you can collect if you look hard enough. It feels very satisfying to unlock a figurine in a secret area. Expanding on something that was good from 64 and TTYD? I love it! And speaking of the world, I should also mention the inclusion of cinematic cutscenes. Because the levels in this game are big and wide, it gives the developers the freedom to put the camera in any angle, creating these incredible shots. I've never seen Paper Mario become this cinematic before. I love all these different angles, zoom-ins, and panning shots it took advantage of. It's like I'm watching a movie. Not to be confused with the Mario movie. Also, dance break! Yep, there are dance sequences in this game, and they are just a joy to watch. Some of these songs even have lyrics for you to sing along. But unfortunately, some of these songs have missing lyrics, which makes singing to them hard to follow, thus killing the mood. Dude, just finish the lyrics! Whatever, at least the dancing is fantastic. Well, I think that's all the minor stuff. Now we can talk about the real talking points. Starting things off with the beginning of the story. Oh, alright then, not wasting any time and getting straight to the point. Luigi and Mario are heading to Peach's castle for an origami festival. But upon arriving at Toad Town, the place is deserted. Ugh. For a town with vibrant colors, it sure gives me the creeps. Maybe this is what liminal spaces feel like. They enter Peach's castle, only to have themselves locked in. Luigi makes it his priority to find the key to the castle, and he rushes off to look for it. Mario enters the foyer of the castle, and we see... Princess Peach? What the hell happened to you? What? That's terrible! I don't want that! You mean you want me to become origami? Hard pass. Wait, what? Silence the toads for all eternity? Matt, stop! Don't even think about it! If you say yes, you'll become one of them! I accept! No! All hail the Origami King. But just like Deltarune Chapter 1, our choices don't matter, and she sends us to the castle's dungeon. It looks like we're trapped here forever, until... He hears a voice from one of the walls. After copyright infringing arms, we rescue Olivia, a tiny yellow origami girl with a positive attitude. So we grab a hammer and smash our way out of this room. What was that? Let's take a peek, shall we? Bowser? What happened to you? And what exactly are you looking at? Oh. Oh no. I don't like where this is. Oh, God! You didn't see anything, Olivia. We come across Bowser, who's... Bowser? You look like a computer case!
Found Bowser. I'm saving him.
Once we rescue Bowser, we make our way to the balcony of the castle, only to get ambushed. We're forced to do a tutorial fight, but after that, the main antagonist reveals himself. Oh my god! An original character! This is King Ollie. He's the brother of Olivia, and he wants to fold the world into an origami kingdom. He also hates toads. F*** it, I'll serve him. Ollie summons 5 colored streamers to wrap around the castle. Mario, Olivia, and Bowser make their getaway by jumping into the clown car and flying away. The castle is being captured and lifted in the air? Where have I seen this before? But unfortunately, one of the streamers gets in the way, and Mario and Olivia fall out of the clown car while Bowser leaves them to their fate.
You bastard!
Mario and Olivia land in a forest and... Wait a minute, why does this remind me of the first Paper Mario? Anyway, after making our way out of the forest, we see Peach's castle on top of a mountain wrapped in 5 colored streamers, setting the goal in place. Follow the streamers and destroy them to free the castle. This story is... great! Don't get me wrong, this is still not as impressive as the first 3 Paper Marios. I would have preferred the dark tone to be pushed a little more, but compared to what we got from Sticker Star and Color Splash, I can appreciate Intelligent Systems for giving us something fresh and unique. The introduction of a brand new villain is a welcome in my book since Sticker Star and Color Splash reused boring-ass Bowser. Not this time, though. Bowser has taken the backseat, and his minions set aside their differences to team up against the Origami soldiers, and the goal of removing the colored streamers in each location? Whoa. In previous Paper Mario games, you're required to collect a certain amount of MacGuffins, usually in the form of stars. I would have preferred that to be the main goal, but I do appreciate the objective being different. And as you go on through the game, some characters you meet will have backstories. Okay, they're not as grand as Admiral Bobbery's sad backstory, or the relationship with Count Bleck and Tippy, but it was just enough motivation to play throughout the entire game. It certainly beats Sticker Star and Color Splash by a wide margin. We'll talk about more of the story later. For now, let's move on to the characters. Sadly, the cast isn't that interesting. It's the standard Mario races. While I do appreciate Bowser's minions being talkable NPCs, they're still generic Goombas, Koopas, Monty Moles, Sniffets, and even Toads. Oh, come on! What is it with every modern Paper Mario not having a huge variety of characters? Give me one. One good reason why the characters have to be boring and generic. Huh? What does this say? It's no longer possible to modify Mario characters or to create original characters that touch on the Mario universe? What the f***, Tanabe? So the cast for this series have to be pre-established characters from now on? That makes no sense. The original Paper Marios also have the limitation of using pre-existing characters, but it had the freedom to make each of them unique by giving them outfits and personalities. A few noteworthy examples are Goombario, being a huge fan of Mario and wears a hat just like him. Professor Colorado, donning an archaeologist's outfit and always making a fool of himself. And the 7 star spirits who guard the Star Rod in Star Haven and have distinct personalities, faces, and colors. Thousand Year Door kept this formula going while introducing new races. Super followed T2ID's footsteps, and ever since Sticker Star, they stopped following that creative formula. The reason why we don't have unique characters is because someone at Nintendo decided that from now on, Paper Mario can only use pre-existing, unmodified characters. And if you make the argument that this series shouldn't have unique characters just because it's a kid's game, I think the mainline Mario games would like to have a word with you. Sunshine had Piantas and Nokis, Galaxy had Rosalina and the Lumas, Odyssey went crazy with the unique characters. Brutals, Gushins, Glydon, frickin' Cappy! If I hear any of you complain about the original characters in Bros Wonder, I'm gonna start a riot. Scope and creativity matters, especially in video games. So why is modern Paper Mario not allowed to have that with its characters?
You have all this awesome material at your disposal, but nah, man. Goombas, Koopas, and Toads, that's enough.
I won't be going over every single character, but I'll talk about the ones worth mentioning. Luigi makes it back as usual. He has a B-plot where his goal is to find the key to Peach's castle. Every time you rescue him, he'll give you a key that's required for progressing the story, but it's always not the key to Peach's castle. Honestly, I think he would have been better as a party member in Mario's team. He would have more involvement and contribute to the plot. Well, this is a Paper Mario game, not a Mario and Luigi game. Super, care to comment? Yep, they've done it before. There's no excuse for not doing it again. Well, at least you don't have to find him via a crappy Where's Waldo game in Sticker Star and Color Splash. Princess Peach is the damsel again, but she's been turned into Origami. Ugh, so disturbing. Who could have done this to her? Surprisingly, not Bowser this time. Yeah, you heard me. Bowser is a side character. His body has been folded and manipulated into a computer case. Here he has to put his differences aside and ask Mario to team up, only to ditch him after escaping the castle and reappearing in the last chapter. So much for that alliance. King Ollie is the main antagonist in this game. As stated before, he wants to fold all the paper folks into origami soldiers and turn the world into an origami kingdom. Also, he's slightly racist. His sister Olivia tags along with Mario throughout your journey. She's a cute companion with an optimistic view of the world, as if she's experiencing it for the first time. She can get a bit annoying in the tutorials, but that's more of a nitpick and less of a complaint. Olivia is such a funny sweetheart, and her dialogue puts a smile on my face. Speaking of characters, let's go over a few of the partners. Yes, partners are finally back from 64 and TTYD. They follow you around, and they have little objectives they have to overcome. However, not every chapter will introduce a partner, and you can only have one partner per chapter. This baffles me because every time you complete a chapter in the first 3 games, they always follow you wherever you go, which was useful because you can use their abilities to take down tougher foes. Though I should probably give Bobby a pass since he had to... we'll talk about that later. For now, I'll just talk about 2 of them. Here we have Bobby. Oh, I'm sorry, his actual name is Bob-omb. The reason why he's called Bobby is because Olivia keeps forgetting his name. That's another thing about these characters. They're not allowed to have original names.
Yes, but I don't really have a name.
A character should have a name. That's how they're supposed to stand out and become recognizable. We have Goombario, Cooper, Bombette, Parakarry, Lady Bo, Watt, Sushi, Lackalaster, Goobella, Koops, Flurry, Yoshi, Vivian, Bobbery, Miss Meows. If your character doesn't have a name, how are we supposed to attach to this character? Imagine Thomas the Tank Engine, but all the characters are called Tank Engine, Tinder Engine, Truck, and Coach. Or VeggieTales, where the characters are called Tomato, Cucumber, Gourd, and Asparagus. Give your characters names! That being said, what's so special about this Bob-omb? Ah, screw it, I'm calling him Bobby too. He has a bad case of amnesia, and he's on a mission to try to get his memories back. This is probably my favorite character in this game, and he's the first party member. Since he lost his memory, he gets easily distracted, and sometimes his amnesia can get the best of him. He doesn't seem to be amused by the little things, as seen with his sitting down pose, and he can get a bit lazy to the point where he falls asleep, especially during combat, but more on that later. For the last character we'll talk about is Professor Toad. Not another generic name. He's an archaeologist who's searching for an ancient person hidden in the desert. Apparently his name is Captain Tio. Oh. Captain Toad. Really funny, Tanabe. Sadly, he's the least interesting partner. He doesn't have any personality traits other than being smart, and he's the only one with an overworld ability? Wait, what? This is the only partner with an overworld ability? And everyone else gets jack squat? What kind of game design is this? Partners in a Paper Mario game were an important aspect of the series. Not only do they help you in combat, but they have useful abilities in the overworld. They can help you solve puzzles, get a first strike in battle, find secrets, or even avoid fights. Partners were more than just a second person next to Mario. They're your friend and are willing to help you. Why is it that Professor Toad is the only partner with an overworld ability, but everyone else just follows you? It's like Nintendo is trying to appeal to the classic PM fans, but they really don't want to. Excuse me, Tanabe-san, but we've been getting a lot of complaints about Color Splash. People want to see partners again. Ugh, those stupid OGs. Fine, but only give one of them an ability. Take the shovel and make something out of it, I don't know. It would have been less awkward if none of them had abilities. What was stopping Nintendo from making more? Okay, now we can get to the meat and potatoes of this game. The gameplay. The goal is to remove all 5 colored streamers from Peach's castle. You follow each streamer in an interconnected world, solving puzzles, fighting enemies, and collecting resources. There's a lot of toads that have been folded into origami, so you have to save them by, get this, smacking them with your hammer. Yes, you rescue toads by smashing them with your hammer. Somebody help me, I'm gonna fall! I'll save you! He'll be fine. He won't. Can I make appointments? Because this game might be my therapist. Moving on to the resources. This game will shower you with a lot of them. Coins and confetti can be collected without even trying, and you'll never get to a point where you'll run out of them. Sure, a lot of things are overpriced in this game, forcing you to grind on coins, and there are a few places where you won't have enough confetti to patch up the holes, but none of these resources ever feel precious. Then we have the upgradable hearts that raise your max HP, which can be found in certain secrets. Or sometimes they're just given to you. Kinda odd. They can make your attack stronger, allowing you to one-hit enemies in the overworld as long as you have enough of them. While collecting hearts is a good motivator to keep the player encouraged, it feels weird that some of them are just tossed at you. Wouldn't it make more sense if there was an upgrade system? And I know what you're all gonna say. It's an action-adventure, not an RPG. But this game still plays like a bad RPG, just like Sticker Star and Color Splash. You don't get any experience after battles, and your only resources are coins and confetti. Okay, so why not use the coins as the experience? Add upgrade stations in convenient areas in the map, and let the players buy their upgrades with their coins. Have the player choose between health, confetti, and maybe attack or defense boost. Same with your partner. The more upgrades they buy, the more expensive they get, allowing them to hunt down more coins. What's that? Collecting coins and confetti are still too easy? Not a problem. Just make confetti only obtainable in battles. Battles reward you with a lot of coins, so let's make that the best way to earn them. Collecting coins in the overworld could be scarce, giving you only one whether you smack a tree, hit a block, or patch up a hole. Boom! I just gave players a reason to battle while making coins and confetti a precious resource. Simple changes to a game can make an impact. Why couldn't they do that here? Your guess is as good as mine. Also, there's a new overworld mechanic called the Thousand-Fold Arms. All you really do with it is stand on the magic circle, use the arms to solve a puzzle, and then it's done. It's a pointless mechanic. Not as annoying and tedious as the cutout technique in Color Splash, but it's nothing special. It's just boring. Let's move on to the battles. Oh boy, I'm not looking forward for this. Sticker Star used consumable attacks to defeat enemies, Color Splash used the same system but much worse, and now it all comes down to this. What else could go wrong? What do they do this time? You start the fights off by selecting an attack to... Wait a minute, what's up with all of this? Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like spinning in circles, because these rings are here to stay whether you like it or not. The ring system places Mario in the middle while the enemies are scattered across the board. Before attacking, you gotta solve puzzles by lining up enemies in a straight line or in 2x2 squares. You have a limited amount of moves and time to do it, so make every move and second count. After that, you can select your attack to fight the enemies. Jumps attack in a straight line, and hammers attack in 2x2s. If you line them up perfectly, you'll get a little boost of attack power. If not, you'll have to take down the rest of the enemies in the next turn. This system is... a little fun, I'll admit. It feels great to have a UI where all you do is select attacks just like the first two games. You can select jump, hammer, items, and weapons. Items and weapons can be purchased in shops or found in the overworld, and they can be useful during these fights. Items can either heal you or damage foes, something that worked in the first three games. Weapons, on the other hand, are more powerful jumps and hammers compared to your standard attacks. These weapons have durability and will break upon using them a lot. It may sound similar to the consumable cards and stickers, but that issue is non-existent here. And the ring puzzles before the fights got me addicted a little. I get a sense of satisfaction every time I perfectly line up the enemies. And running away from the fights is no longer the best way to beat enemies. Sure, they still disappear in the overworld, but the odds of running away are so strict that it feels like it never happens. It even punishes you by having the enemies attack you on the next turn. Sounds like I'm enjoying the combat in this game. So, what's the issue? What's my biggest problem with this new battling system? Well, the combat is way too easy. It won't take much effort to wipe out all the enemies. Even if some of them survive, they can be taken down on the next turn. All you need to do is line up the enemies and use your strongest attacks to take them out. There are times where you won't take them all out on the first turn, but this combat is so easy, you'll most likely beat them all in 1 or 2 turns. Heck, this combat is so easy that even if a lot of enemies surround you, only a few of them attack you. That's kinda lame. Not to mention most of these enemies are identical and samey. And you'll encounter so many of them, you don't need to memorize which enemies do what specific attacks. You just mash A and hope that it blocks. Even if you don't block them, you'll only lose a little bit of health. In the first two Paper Marios, the combat was easy to understand, but hard to master. Some enemies are easy to defeat, but you'll encounter certain enemies that take more effort to fight. They'll have high defense and attack power, meaning you'll have to time your powerful attacks right while keeping in mind of your health. You can't really do that in this game. Just like in Color Splash, Mario is overpowered in these fights and it adds no challenge to the game. But what about the party members? Sure, they stand alongside with Mario, but they can't be controlled on their turn, and they attack enemies by themselves. And sure, their attacks are helpful in some way, but they don't always hit. If there's a chance for your partner to miss an attack, then what's the point of having them in combat? It's like Nintendo is trying to appeal to the Thousand Year Door fans, but ended up making these partners either barely useful or almost useless. Meanwhile, you have that ring puzzle that doesn't sound too bad at first, but it really doesn't fit with the battle system. It forces you to solve ring puzzles before engaging with the combat, as if your opponent threw 3 Rubik's Cubes at you and told you to solve them before striking. I don't have a problem with solving puzzles. In fact, I love puzzle games. I'm a huge fan of the Portal series, games where you have to navigate from room to room with only one device at your disposal. But this is a game with turn-based combat. I'm surrounded by enemies and I need to defend myself. Also, some of these puzzles are very tricky to solve. I can solve most of them no problem, but there were a few that got me stumped. There's no telling what the difficulty of these ring puzzles are because the enemies are shuffled at random. I'm pointing this all out because there are people who don't like puzzles. I know a few people who despise puzzle games, and that's not a bad thing because not everyone is good at every game genre. I suck at fighting games and beat-em-ups. All I do is mash buttons and hope for the best. So imagine if you hate puzzles and you're forced to solve ring puzzles before engaging with the combat. Would you be having fun with this game? Didn't think so. It's bad enough if you make an RPG that doesn't play well, but alienating your audience with difficult puzzles when they just want to fight enemies? That's low. And you want to know something ironic? That means the ring puzzles are harder than the combat. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about losing the combat because it's too easy, but solving ring puzzles is the actual combat. I'm sorry, I don't see how any of this makes sense. But Matt, I hear you ask, there's a system where you can pour money to get extra time or have the puzzle solved for you. And you're right. If you ever feel like you need more time, you can use your coins to put more seconds on the clock. Or if you don't feel like doing the puzzles, you can use the coins to have it solved for you. You'll get more time or have more moves solved on top of getting healed or having enemies take damage the more coins you pour in. This is also where the rescue toads come into play. As more of them help you solve the puzzles, the more you rescue. Buying timer moves uses up a lot of coins, which is understandable. They don't want players to just use these systems as the best way to win battles. The only way to truly break the system is to give the players loads of coins. Like that'll ever happen. There's no way Nintendo will shower the player with coins. They would never dare. Oh. They did not care about balance and resource management, did they? Imagine if you're playing Breath of the Wild, and every enemy, pot, and box you break contains 1,000 rupees each. Later in the game, you won't have a problem buying any expensive items or clothing because running out of rupees isn't an issue. That's what's wrong here. This game gives you way too many coins that you could just buy more time or have the puzzle solved for you. It's a feature that discourages you from engaging in battle. Why bother do any of the puzzle solving when you can just spend coins? What's that? You don't want to waste money? That's okay, because even if the puzzles are too difficult, the combat is too easy. Because if we made it hard, then the player would lose. And we don't want them to lose, we want them to win, win, win. Congratulations! You're winner! Doesn't it feel good to win?
When solving a puzzle, at any point you can hit the X button and ask Olivia for tips. And no, the help doesn't come from the tips themselves. The help comes from the fact that the game pauses. And while it's paused, you have a nice view of the whole map. Buying time, giving money to toads, why do any of that when you can just press X? Just press X!
What? I played through the entire game from start to finish, and I never knew you could do that. Did anyone in Intelligent Systems looked at this combat and realized that it was broken? No. Maybe they knew it was bad, but they were forced to add it in by ego. You know what else feels forced by ego? The bosses. Now, normally in these modern Paper Mario reviews, I'll say something like saving your resources until you reach the bosses, which is followed up by a complaint where you're required to get a thing attack to defeat them. Not in this game, because bosses work differently. This time the boss is in the middle of the arena, and you have to use your rings to create a path for Mario to follow. You can collect icons along the way, like the blues giving you an extra turn, or the reds making your attack stronger. Landing on a battle space or a magic circle will allow you to start your turn. Once you're done, the boss will attack and then you rinse and repeat until the boss is defeated. Before I make any complaints, let me just say that it feels good to have bosses that require skill and strategy. Sticker Star and Color Splash's bosses don't work because they force you to use thing attacks. You cannot beat a boss until you had the thing attack in your inventory, thus making boss fights either harder impossible or baby's first video game win. With things removed from this game, you would assume that means the bosses are fixed, but remember, you still have to use the rings before your turn. When creating a path, you got to make sure Mario lands on the arrows to guide him in the right direction, otherwise he'll trip and lose a turn. Then there are parts where you gotta go to specific spots on the ring to make your attack work. Some attacks require the magic circle, but they won't work even if you try to land on them. You have to step on the on button first to activate them, and sometimes the on button is locked behind a treasure chest, so you have to waste a turn to open it. Even if you do all of that, the game doesn't clue you on how you're supposed to fight the boss. Sure, there are little envelopes that'll give you tips on what to do, but even if you read the tip, depending on the path you took, you're already wasting your turn on the wrong attack, so it's impossible to know what move to use unless you read the tip and realize, uh-oh, I screwed up big time. Speaking of screwing up, the way you perform these attacks all depend on what move you use and where you are on the rings. In the colored pencil fights, I managed to stun him temporarily, then I used the 1000-fold arms thinking I would use my fist to smash it, only for it to close the lid and not do anything. What a waste of a turn. In the water elemental fight, I tried using the earth ability as an earthquake attack, only for it to fly up at the very last second. If it could fly up all this time, then why was it so close to the ground? In the rubber band fight, there's an attack where you'll get tied up in rubber bands if you don't guard them right, and you'll lose a turn and take massive damage. That's a bit too much, don't you think? And in the fire elemental fight, you're supposed to drain his health slowly and finish it off with the 1000-fold arm smash. If you smash him immediately, he'll regenerate all of his health. Learned that the hard way because I got a game over after that. You can't jump on the Earth Elemental. You gotta go to each of its limbs and whack it with your hammer. You can't use normal attacks on rubber bands. She'll just regenerate her health. You need to use the 1,000-fold arms to grab her head and snap the devil out of her. But you gotta do it close to her, otherwise you'll only drain a little bit of her health. Uh-oh! Hole Punch deactivated the on button. You need to get its piece back by attacking its back. And sometimes it won't even give you the piece. Did I mention that it has a charge attack, which requires the on button? Good luck dodging that move. I don't have a problem with trial and error. That's how you learn from mini-games. From failing. But every turn takes so long to line up the correct path and do the attack successfully. Every minute you have to create a path, find the right spot to attack, maybe activate the on button just so you can use the magic circle, and just hope your attack will work, only for it to backfire or not do anything, leaving you stressed that you waste a turn for nothing. And while all of that is going on, the boss could just simply...
There you go, you piece of shit American! Now do you think our games are too easy? That's not what I meant!
This is the worst part about Origami King. These boss fights are confusing, complicated, and convoluted for players with any skill level, and they're not fun to play. Boss fights are supposed to be fun and exciting in video games. They get you pumped up and test everything you learned so far. But here, they're a stressful guessing game where you waste a whole minute trying to create a path for your strategy. And every time you fail, you get severely punished just because you didn't read the game's mind.
Holy what were you thinking, Tanabe?
Why do you have to make Paper Mario so convoluted? Why does modern Paper Mario have to have stressful and tedious gameplay?
Why can't you give Paper Mario good game design?
What the? Did I just fight an enemy? Without using the ring? Oh my goodness, I think they finally got something right! So, in addition to these normal fights, there are a few overworld fights where you battle against giant monsters made out of paper mache, though these fights feel like they weren't optimized for Mario's overworld gameplay. They move faster than him, and Mario's range on his hammer is so tiny. But compared to the ring puzzles from the normal battles, this is fun. Just whack these suckers a few times until they're nothing but a pile of confetti. I can't stress how satisfying it is to land a hit on these guys. There's even boss fights of these monsters, most notably Gooper Blooper and the giant Pokey. Oh my god! This is the most fun I've ever had with modern Paper Mario! I bet this game would have been a lot better if they scrapped the ring system and focused more on the paper mache enemies. If you wanted this game to be an action-adventure, then cut the battle system and make this game more puzzle-based with overworld fighting. This could have been the next best Super Paper Mario! I just don't get you, Origami King. You try so hard to be good, but you're always held back by corporate mandate. When Paper Mario first launched in Japan, it was called Mario Story. But ever since Sticker Star, there hasn't been a story ever since. Thankfully, Origami King has a story. Not how I would have preferred, but it was still enough to keep me playing. I don't want to spoil the entire game's plot, so we'll be discussing about half of the game to give you a taste of what it's like. And yes, there will be spoilers from here on out. Unless you've played the game or really don't mind, I highly recommend skipping to this time frame to avoid spoilers. You sure you want to proceed? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We find ourselves back at the Mushroom Kingdom where the place is deserted. It's so barren and empty, with a lot of holes in the environment. Who could have done this? Oh! Okay, that's a little creepy. Yeet him to the Dark Realm. We find ourselves in Toad Town, beating up papier-mâché Goombas and patching up holes. Eventually, we find ourselves at the remains of Peach's castle and rescue Luigi. Right after playing with the wacky gyro controls, Luigi sets off on a mission to find the key to the castle. He should be able to unlock it for us once we remove all the color streamers. Oh, I was gonna say something like, hats off to you, Luigi, but I guess that's a bit too late for that. Well, time to start Chapter 1. Welcome to Picnic Road, a giant hill with vibrant colors and a beautiful scenery. We can patch up more holes, beat up enemies, look for secrets, and smash the flowers. Down below is the entrance to the Earth Elemental, but it's missing its shell stones. Let's just speed up the Shy Guy before he steals the last one. We must collect the missing stones to open the door to the temple. The only one that's worth pointing out was from Monty Mole, who wagers different prices for it. You can just make him lower the price as he gets desperate to sell it. Wow, Mario, you're such a dick! Now that we have all the shell stones, we can enter the Earth Elemental Temple. This feels like we're in a Zelda dungeon. Oh look, it even comes with its own heart container. We're led to a room with a very deep pit. Oops, sorry, wrong game. This is where we encounter our first boss, the Earth Elemental. Thankfully, he's the easiest one to fight. Just smash its limbs, head, and tail. Then use the thousandfold arms to flip it and pound it to the ground. The worst has yet to come. Now Olivia can use the Earth Elemental's power to raise and lower geometry. The first streamer is at the top of the tower, so we lower it to access it. Huh, that's weird. This place is vandalized with colored pencil graffiti. Well, gotta admit, it looks nice. Whoa! Okay, that might be taking it too far. It's like that scene in Toy Story where the Etch-a-Sketch draws a noose. Well, if it's a fight he wants, it's a fight he'll get. Bring it on, whoever it is. What? It's a case of colored pencils? No monster, no powerful sentient being, no evil monarch, no group of smaller enemies forming into one big opponent? Just a giant inanimate object? So it's not okay to have new and original characters, but it's perfectly fine to create bosses that don't fit in the Mario universe? Man, Tanabe probably sniffed way too much of that color splash paint. Anyways, colored pencils will put reticles all over the board. If you pass one, he'll fire his pencils at you. You must sneak behind him and shut his lid. This will stun him temporarily and give you a chance to do damage on him. Just don't use the thousandfold arms again. Learned that the hard way. I know I'm making this boss fight sound easy, but on my first playthrough, I had no idea what to do. This is where I got my first game over, all because the game never clued me in on how to beat this guy. I'm just giving you a heads up so you don't make the same mistake I did. After a while, he'll charge his rainbow roll attack. Closing the lid won't do any good this time. You gotta grab his pencils and slam them into his cold-hardened case. Ha! That's what you get for not being an original character! After being up bold and brash, we smash the first streamer and conclude Chapter 1. Yay! What's this? Our max confetti increased? I don't understand you, Tanabe. If you don't want this game to be an RPG, then why are there still RPG elements in this game? On to Chapter 2, where we board the tram to Autumn Mountain. Wow, Olivia, you're loving the scenery, aren't you? This is where we're introduced to our first party member, Bobby. I don't care what the corporate mandate says. You deserve to have a name. Bobby has amnesia, so he's on a mission to remember who he is and what he's meant to be. Olivia suggests that he should come along and be part of the team. He's hesitant at first, but... Aw, you gave Mario a nickname? That's adorable. Of course he can come along. Our team now consists of Mario, Olivia, and Bobby. I don't care. Now that we have a party member, our train makes its arrival at Autumn Mountain. Whoa! This place looks magnificent! Nothing screams more beautiful than... floppin' fish? Tiny puddles? Stranded boats? Wait a minute. A dried up lake? That's not beautiful at all! It's a crisis! How are we supposed to fill up the lake back up? Huh, good idea, Olivia. We'll just defeat the water elemental to fill up the lake. Shouldn't be too hard since we know where it is, right, Bobby? Bobby? Bobby?
Dang it, Bobby.
Quit slacking. We got a streamer to follow. Alright, no more distractions. Bobby? What are you doing? Wait, no! Don't go near him!
Dang it, Bobby.
Guess we better go save him. What's that, Olivia? You found Bobby? Well, let's get him! Oh. Well, A for effort, I guess? We're now being challenged to climb up a hill avoiding spiky chestnuts. This is where a lot of wacky hijinks happen. We save Bobby, we lose Bobby, then we save him, yada yada yada. Okay, now there will be no more delays and we can finally head to the water temple. For some reason, Bobby doesn't want to join us inside, which might be for the best considering how much trouble he gave us. Nothing much else to say, just another Zelda dungeon. Not a bad thing, just a recurring thing in this game. Get used to it. We make it to the end of the temple and are confronted by the water elemental. In this boss fight, he'll use whirlpools to wash out the icons off the board. You dick! As stated before, using the earth ability won't do anything. You gotta lower him down with the normal attack, then hit him with the 1,000-fold arm. Oh. He defends himself. Why are these bosses so tedious? Oh, so now the 1,000-fold arms work? If this boss was a Lazy Town character, his name would be Stingy. Whatever. Now we can use the water ability. Time to restore the lake. Whoa! This is the best looking water I've ever seen in a Mario game! Oh, back to paper water? After a quick side mission to open a can of tuna and giving it to a monkey, we revert it back into a toad and travel along the river to follow the blue streamer. Why did you ruin the moment? I was so relaxed. We made it to our destination, Shotgun Studios, an amusement park themed around ninjas. Entering this room reveals what the conflict is. So anyway, we must find the master key to the park to unlock the tower where the streamer is. Ooh, fancy mask you got there. We got Samus, Donkey Kong, and a Goomba. Whoa. I guess that got her good, didn't it? So in this park, you have to do a lot of fetch quests to enter the ninja house, an attraction where we search around the entire house looking for cutouts of ninja toads. We take a little detour behind the scenes of the attraction to find Luigi stuck in the cogs of the mechanical workings. Not a problem, just patch up the holes, put the gear back in its place, and voila! After saving Luigi, he gives us the master key to the park. Oh, don't feel bad, Luigi. You actually helped us in some way, and he ran off. I was just trying to encourage him. Oh well, we unlock the door to the tower, carefully sneak our way in. Please don't laugh, Olivia. And we made it inside. Oh, is this a theater? I love Broadway. Oh, sweet, we get the front row view. Even better. Huh. Why are all the toads tied to their seats? Maybe they see Broadway as torture? Bunch of critics! I'll show those uncultured swines I have taste! The first part of the show is a simple Western story. Huh? Mario is being volunteered? Did they rehearse this? Whatever. This is just a simple minigame where you have to press the A button once you see the word fire. Kinda like pressing the right button in Mario Party 5 Shy Guy Showdown. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Huh. Looks like someone's mad that we're still alive. Who cares? Let's see the next show. Hey look! It's Vernius!
You should jump into Magma Mountain now!
I mean, Birdo. Sorry. Looks like she's summoned by some bad boys, so she calls Mario on stage to deal with these pests. Now at first I thought using the hammer would stop them, but it doesn't seem to work here. Why? Didn't the game already teach me to stop these guys with the hammer? You want to know how to defeat them? Jump on their shells, then hammer them. Get it? 'Cause Koopas. Yeah, this stage play sucks. The only good thing about this was Birdo's appearance. Oh well, at least we saved her. Hey, Mario even gets a little action! Jealous, anyone? Maybe that rude voice is. Jeez, it really wants us dead, doesn't it? Well, we're not gonna let that startle us. Moving on. The next act is a ballerina dance with papier-mâché Shy Guys. Huh. Oh my. What a lovely choreography. Well, the spotlight's on you, Mario. Let's see what you got. Oh, who's up for stand-up comedy? Oh, never mind. We have to get rid of all these shy guys despite the fact that we committed a murder on stage. Setting a good example for the kids. Oh wow, I guess they're letting me off the hook this time. Okay, well, I've had it with your persnickety attitude. I demand answers. Who are you? And what's your problem? What the fuck? Okay, well, I can see that you have talent, but I was on stage more than you. The audience cheered for me because I was doing something. All you did was insult me backstage. Alright, Elastigirl, you think you're a better star? We'll see about that. This is a woman made out of rubber bands. Jumping and hammering won't do any damage since she can use the rubber bands to regenerate herself. You gotta step on the magic circle, stretch her head, and smack the bands out of her. But if you're too far away, she'll only lose one band. There's also this annoying attack where if you don't time it right, you'll get tied up, making you vulnerable to take serious damage. Also, on my first playthrough, I avoided the rubber bands on the board because I thought they would hurt me. Please don't play like this. It became frustrating because every time I dodged the bands, I would never be close enough for a powerful attack. All they do is push you to the next lane, depending where they're pointing. That would have been good to know, Tanabe! We expose her final band, smack her to death, and send her blasting off again. And with that, the curtain falls on Chapter 2. The Toads are free from the bands, the blue streamer is removed, and we die in the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. What? We continue down the river to begin Chapter 3. So we arrive at what looks like to be the Grand Canyon and follow the yellow streamer until... Ollie! What do you want from us? Oh my God! Why would you do that to your sister? Oh, thank God she's okay. But she's trapped underneath that boulder. We gotta get her out of there. But how? Huh. Set sail? Okay, if you say so, Bobby. Time to backtrack all the way to Toad Town. We head to port, set sail, and make our way to a cruise ship called the Princess Peach. They didn't even try with that name. We make our way to a room with the lockbox. Oh, come on! Why does this game have so much padding? We arrive at the front of the ship to confront none other than Gooper Blooper. Huh? What's this? No ring system? It's all happening in the overworld? No way! This is a fun boss fight! You dodge attacks and whack the weak spots with your hammer! That's it! Just fun gameplay and good game design! Oh my god, finally! They did something right with modern Paper Mario! We smash this blooper to smithereens and get the box back. It's another box? Okay, how does that help? Let's make our way back to the canyon and find out. What? Bobby has a backstory? We haven't had those since Super Paper Mario! So Bobby and his friends went on to the Princess Peach for a relaxing vacation, but their trip was interrupted by Gooper Blooper. They tried their best to defend themselves, but many of them died. Bobby, however, lived, but lost his fuse and was thrown overboard. He woke up and found himself washed up in Toad Town with all of his memories gone, so he sets off to see what he can remember. Before all of that happened, he lost a personal best friend that meant so much to him, and he always kept his fuse to remember him, which just so happens to be in that wait a minute. No, Bobby, you can't. You shouldn't. No! Stop! No! Oh my god! He's gone! How am I gonna tell Olivia about this? What the? Hey, Olivia, come back! Please don't leave me, Olivia! You're all I have left! Where'd you go? Olivia? Olivia! Oh. There she is. Now she's so depressed that she can't continue with us. Okay, Olivia. Take care. Huh? Bobby? You're not alive, but you're here! He tells us to cheer up Olivia. We need to put a smile on her face. Laughter, huh? I think I have just the idea. Thanks, Bobby. I'll miss you. Sorry, but I'm just gonna be quiet for this moment. It's too much for me. Thanks, Olivia. Please don't leave me. Thank you, Bobby. We're introduced to a boot car that will help us travel through the desert. This is the coolest overworld feature so far. Welcome to Scorching Sandpaper Desert. Oddly enough, it's not hot here. Kinda like Odyssey's Toast Arena. Maybe the lack of sun is the problem. Then why was there sunlight in the previous worlds? Never mind. So we follow the yellow streamer to this tiny landscape. We can't do anything with it since it's buried deep underground, and we can't understand the text on the platform, so we'll have to find someone who can translate it to us. We find ourselves trapped in a sandstorm, and are forced to combat a giant pokey. Another fun overworld boss. We wait for him to strike, jump out of the car, and whack his body. Just be careful not to lose your car during the fight. You're gonna have a bad time once it's gone. We split his head like a melon and free our next party member, Professor Toad. Oh man, as if having a generic name is bad enough, he's also a f***ing toad! Though he's not annoying like the other toads, he can translate ancient texts and dig up spots in the overworld. He's slightly better than Bobby in combat since his digging can hurt multiple enemies, though sometimes it doesn't work. Again, what's the point of having partners in battle? His goal in this chapter is to find and discover the legendary person called Captain Toad. Kill me. We give this knockoff Professor Colorado a ride back to the hotel, and he translates us some ancient text. There are 4 giant toad towers scattered across the desert. We have to get them to look at a specific spot to raise the temple. It looks like the rest of the mural is inside that room, but we need to find the resident who lives there. To find him, you must win a game where you guess the mood of a Snifit. Let me just say, this is impossible. There's no way of telling how he's feeling. He wears a f***ing mask for crying out loud. I just select a random mood and hope for the best. I almost got a game over here. Lovely game design, Tanabe! Oh, thank God it's over. I don't care if he scammed me. I'm just glad I can move on. Alright, Genie, where's my 3 wishes? Oh, hi Luigi. Well, I assume you won't grant me wishes, but do you have the key to your room?
Yeah!
Thank you! Yeah, sorry Luigi. Still not the key to Peach's castle. Godspeed, you good sir. We enter the room to the rest of the mural. Apparently we need to dance on a specific spot in the desert to summon the Fire Elemental Temple. Well, Olivia, dance class is now in session. Hey, it looks like you're ready for your big number. Hey, while we're here, take a look at this collectible. Get it? What does this thing look like? And we found it in a bedroom? Oh my god! 69! Wow, Tanabe! You're a dick! Okay, I'll cut to the chase. How about that performance, Olivia? Aladdin is that way. Yet again, another Zelda dungeon. Let's just skip to the boss. The Fire Elemental. I'm sorry. This is the worst one so far. You put out the fire and slowly chip away its health with normal attacks. Whatever you do, do not use the 1,000-fold arms on him. It'll regenerate itself, wasting all of your time chipping its health. How the f*** are you supposed to know that? What if this was your first time fighting this boss, and you're struggling with it? The 1,000-fold arms would be a great way for you to do maximum damage. But instead, it punishes you for being clever. Just like these two f***tards! I had to re-record this fight because I fell for that mistake and wasted 16 minutes of my time. That may not sound a lot, but considering I was gathering so much footage for this video, and this was a time-consuming process, I was pissed. Tanabe! What the f*** is wrong with you? So after that terrible boss fight, we learned the fire ability. So here's how we raise the temple to the streamer. We go to each of the towers and light up the cauldrons. We also need 4 specific stones with the text cluing on where to find them. One of them is very clever, having to create an eclipse through the reflection of the lake. Now that all the lights are aligned, we use the Earth Elemental to lift up the temple. Oh, I saw that alright. Was that some sort of spirit? Oh my god. Is that...
Spiders! 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 Get off me!
Well, at least this poor fella is alright. Oh god! Isn't that the equivalent of decapitation in a Mario game? I guess he's hopeless at the moment. Let's move on. We find ourselves in a disco room. Looks like they're having a party. Behind the closed doors is someone who is very opinionated with music. Oh, great. As if the egotistical rubber bands were bad enough. We have to find a music disc to appease the mysterious voice. Hey, how about that one? I'll just take that off your Ow! I said, I'll just take that off- Ah! I said, I'll just take that off your hands! Haha, sucker! Let's hope this is the right one. Yes! He loves it! But we need to fill the dance floor, and the only bodies I see are the faceless toads. Time to make a zombie party. Don't mind me, just gathering corpses like it's a normal thing. Okay, that should be everyone. Now let's boogie! You want to know what makes this bittersweet? This is the last musical performance in the entire game. I hope you cherished it while it lasted. The mysterious voice approves the dance party, and he jumps out of the room to steal the spotlight. You party pooper! I'm gonna punch you so hard you'll be covered in holes! This is Hole Punch. He'll start his turn by punching holes into the rings, disabling the on button for the magic circles. To fix them, you have to run up behind him and whack him with your hammer. This will fix the holes on the board, but eventually you'll be able to use the on button. Also, he will punch holes into Mario, reducing his health by half. You'll have to get the pieces back to restore your max health. Otherwise, he'll just keep reducing you to a bunch of holes. He also has a charge attack where he'll ram into you and punch 2 holes in your body. The only way to counter the attack is to land on the Earth Elemental space. This will put you in a safe elevated spot where the hole punch will ram into your pillar and get stunned. Now is the perfect time to go all in with the 1,000-fold arms. Do it enough times and you'll tear off his bottom. Not as hard as the Fire Elemental, but still annoying. At least it's over. Well, well, well. Looks like I won the dance-off. He blows up and all the toad faces have been restored. The sun goes back to its place and restores light in the desert. Which reminds me of another Paper Mario. We destroy the streamer and end Chapter 3. It sure was filled with holes, alright. We also get to find the ancient person Professor Toad was looking for. And yeah, I'm gonna stop right there. If this story was interesting enough for you, then go ahead and pick up this game. But here's my summary on it. Paper Mario the Origami King is a mixed bag of a game. On one hand, it has a lot of great things that makes it stand tall. The beautiful graphics, the papery art style, the funny writing and humor, the catchy music, the translated songs, the dance choreographies, the huge open overworlds, the papier-mâché enemies along with the papier-mâché boss fights, the amount of toads you can bonk on the head, the better UI for battles, and despite the strict limitations, Intelligent Systems was able to create a game with a story that's just enough to invest in, along with somewhat memorable characters, a few of which have interesting backstories. But on the other hand, it suffers from a lot of problems that hinders its enjoyment. The confusing puzzles, the unnecessary mechanics, the unfinished lyrics in the songs, the restricted cast of characters, the barely helpful party members, the ring system in battles, the lack of experience, the broken economy, the bullshit boss fights, and Nintendo's decision to neglect the fan base and make this franchise something it shouldn't be. It's not that this game is a pile of dog shit. No, far from it. It just has a lot of missed potential. I definitely enjoyed my time with this game. I would definitely choose to revisit this over Sticker Star and Color Splash, and I would love to recommend this game to you all, but I can't. This game tries so hard to be completely different from the first 2 games, and yet it still plays similar to them, which was what made Sticker Star and Color Splash bad in the first place. Now that we're 3 games in, with no sign of the original style present, this game, and this franchise as a whole, represent Nintendo's worst side. A side where they won't listen to the fans, do whatever they want with their games without questioning their game design, and all around just being stubborn. This game is a corporate mandate made by ego. Now to answer the following question, does this game fold up? Well, I still don't know how to answer that. It honestly depends on what kind of person you are. If you really enjoy the good parts of this game, and don't really give a crap about the original trilogy, then you can hail the Origami King and call this game good. But if you're easily frustrated with all of its flaws and still wish for the old style of Paper Mario, then you can fight against this evil monarch and call this game bad. As for me, I'm not leaning on either side. This game is just mid. Well, I've done it. I reviewed every single game in the modern Paper Mario era. The bad one, the worst one, and the one that's just... eh. And it's more evidential proof that Nintendo won't bring the series back to its roots. I just feel empty inside. I mean, it's fine that you like these games, but that just means you either never played one of these classics, or you just don't give a rat's ass about Paper Mario's legacy. Wait. Oh god. Does that mean I don't like classic Paper Mario? Well, there were a lot of great things from Origami King, and Sticker Star, while it's mostly bad, had some good qualities like Snif It or Whiff It and the mansion in Chapter 4. And Huey was the only thing I liked in Color Splash. Dang. I guess I don't really care about the legacy. Maybe I should give up on the games I love. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm not the same person without my 1,000-year door. I can't let it go. I want Paper Mario back! Huh? What's this? No way! Huh. Maybe there is a little bit of magic in this world.